So we are here today to share with you recent changes to the zoning ordinance amendment that affect the standards of the special events and food trucks. We will first discuss the updates to the special event provisions that were already in the zoning ordinance amendment. Special events are temporary outdoor activities held on private property, and they range from community or cultural events, community or cultural events or carnivals and circuses. One of the changes made was to clarify what qualifies as a special event under the zoning ordinance. We often receive inquiries from community associations and homeowners planning events, asking whether their event requires a special permit or not from zoning. Events held on public land or indoors or those that are not open to the general public are not classified as special events. To reflect this, the definition of a special event was updated to indicate that a special event is one that is open to the general public, meaning that is widely advertised and is accessible by anyone, and it's not just limited to the community's members and their guests. Any event meeting the definition of a special event requires a special permit, administrative permit from zoning, which includes an administrative review of the application. It is recommended that these types of applications be submitted at least 30 days before the planned event will take place. During this process, the review process, staff will determine if any additional permits are required from other county agencies, such as the Office of the Fire Marshal, Land Development Services, or the Health Department, or Animal Services. Before this amendment, the zoning ordinance had a one-size-fits-all permit approach, requiring a $240 application fee for all special events and limiting all special events to a maximum of 21 days. The amendment introduced a new two-tiered administrative permit process, which has helped to streamline the approval process and allows quicker review for smaller scale special events. The Tier 1 AP would be applicable to short-term events and applies to short-term events that have minimal impact due to their limited duration and scope. This Tier 1 permit is for events that last no more than 1 day and include both setup and breakdown times, and that do not exceed 12 hours in total. There's a requirement for a minimum of 5 days between each one-day event, and no more than 12 events may take place at the same property within a calendar year. Events cannot occur before 7 a.m. or after 10 p.m. from Sunday through Thursday, and they must end by 11 p.m. on Fridays, Saturdays, and the night before a federal holiday. The total number of attendees at any one time that would qualify for a Tier 1 administrative permit cannot exceed 150 attendees at any one time. Lastly, the application fee for a Tier 1 AP was reduced from the general $240 to $120. Any event that does not meet the standards may be approved as a Tier 2 administrative permit special event. So the Tier 2 AP applies to long-term uses that may have additional impacts on adjacent properties due to their extended duration and operational scope. Examples of such uses include seasonal Christmas tree sales, cultural festivals, and concert series that are held on a specific property and that are open to the general public. The Tier 2 AP increases the specific event duration time from the previous 21 days and increases it to a maximum of 60 days for most events, with a permit fee of $240. There was no change with the permit fee. Any requests that exceed the standards for a Tier 2 AP may be approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals through a special permit process. During our outreach, one of the feedback we heard from event operators was that the process of reapplying for recurring events each year was burdensome and time consuming, especially when the events are the same from year to year. To address this concern, a new standard has been introduced that establishes a new process for both Tier 1 and Tier 2 APs. Under this new process, permits will be issued for a 2-year period for a program of recurring special events that do not include significant changes from year to year in terms of their location, in terms of the expected attendance, or the duration and extent of the event itself. The application for a program of events may include multiple events that take place on consecutive or non-consecutive days, and subsequent program of events may be approved by the zoning administrator for a maximum of 5 years at a time, provided the applicant demonstrates compliance with all applicable standards and regulations. The renewal application fee is set at $60. And an example would be if, let's say, a community pool is holding a certain concert every Thursday, let's say, and it's open to the general public, meaning beyond the members of the community and their guests, that would qualify for a program of events permit, and then they would get one permit for the first 2 years, and then subsequently can be renewed for up to 5 years at a time. I'm sharing on the screen some other examples of events that typically require a special event permit, as well as those that do not require a permit or are not considered a special event for purposes of the zoning ordinance. Events that require an administrative permit include, again, open to the general public, but festivals, open air markets, and holiday parties that are open to the general public and or advertised widely. Many events held at community pools may not qualify as special events, as they're usually attended only by community members and maybe their guests. For instance, if a community pool is holding a cookout, summer cookout, or a holiday party, such as a Halloween party for the community members and maybe their guests, those would not be considered special event and therefore would not require an administrative permit. If you have any questions during when you're setting up an event, you are more than welcome to reach out to us directly to the Zoning Administration Division to get additional clarification, and will help you determine if a permit is required or not. So in addition to the special events standards, changes were made to the food truck standards in the zoning ordinance. One significant update that was made is a change to the number of days community pools, for example, could host food trucks at their locations. The previous standard limited the number of days to 12 days per year. That has been increased to 45 days per year. Community pools will also continue to be able to host up to 3 food trucks, and at the same time on a specific property for a maximum of 4 hours each day, including setup and breakdown. Additional food trucks may be permitted in conjunction with other approved temporary uses, such as special events, any profit conditions, development conditions, special exception, or special permit approvals. To host food trucks, a zoning food truck location permit is required for each property that will be hosting food trucks. This permit is issued once and allows community pools to host food trucks for a total of 45 days per year, and there will be a one-time application fee of $120. Each food truck, though, would require an food truck operator's permit to be able to operate in the county, in addition to necessary permits from the health department and a license from the Department of Cable and Consumer Services. The food truck operator permit also has a $120 application fee, but this permit has to be renewed every year, whereas the food truck location permit does not need to be renewed. So that concludes the presentation. We're more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.